Hi and welcome to the second part of the Raimme tutorial series. Today we are going to learn how to build relationships between types in the Raimme platform. In the first part of our tutorial we have built a simple type to store customer data, and today we want to extend our app to store information about invoices that we have for this customer in our system. To store this information, we will first create a new type in our environment, which will be called invoice, and then we will create a relationship between the invoice and the customer. So let's go to our menu, and in the data section let's select data types, and here we can see the type that we have created in the first part of our tutorial. It is a type called customer, and it's used to store information about customers. So just to remind, if we go to the Fields tab, we can see the fields that we have created for a customer, and we can see the last name, gender, date of birth, name, and first name field. And when we open My Profile and then open the customer list, we can see some customers that we have already created in our system. So now we want to go ahead and create another type called invoice. In order to do this, we go back to the setup, click data and data types, and we will create a new data type in the same way that we have done it for the customer type in the first part of our tutorial. So let's call the new type invoice. Let's define a package for it. Let's say we will select a package called com.office because it's an office app, and then we will define a label for this type and the plural label, and that's it. We can save the type, and it has been created. So let's just add one or two fields so that this type is not empty. So let's add a number field, because each of invoice has a unique number, so let's call it number. And the data type for this will be the text field, and we can make it required, obviously, because each invoice has to have a number, and also it has to be unique across all invoices. We don't want to have two invoices with the same number. So let's save this field, go back to invoice definition, and open the fields tab, and here we can see that the new field has been added in our system. So now when we go back to the types list, we can see we have two types, and we can also view a data diagram to see how these types are related. If we want to display our database schema, we go to the menu and click Data Model Diagram, and here we can see the two types that we have created, customer and invoice, but as we can see they are not related in any way, so there is no association between a customer and an invoice. What we want to do now is to create such association. For each invoice we want to assign one customer. We will do this by adding a customer field on the invoice, and it will be a field that references a customer object. So let's go to our data types list, open the invoice type, and we will create a new field called customer on the invoice object. So let's call it customer. The label will be also customer. And now the most important part is to select the proper data type for this field. And the data type we want to use is a type reference, because this field references another type. In this case it's the customer type, and it is assigned values from this type. So let's select a type reference data type, which is a many-to-one relationship, by the way. And now we have to select which type we want to reference. So let's open this pop-up list, and here we can see a list of types that we can select. Most of them are built-in types provided by the Raimme platform and available out of the box, but we can also find here are two types that we have created, invoice and customer. So let's select customer, and we want to have this field required as well because each invoice has to have a customer. And let's leave all the other options empty and save the field. And to see that it has actually been created, let's go back to the invoice definition and the fields tab, and here we can see the new field has been added. Okay, and now let's see it in action. Let's go back to the app, open the user view by clicking my profile, and we can see that in the menu a new item has appeared, invoices. Let's open the invoice list. It's empty because we haven't created any invoices yet. And now let's go ahead and create an invoice and assign a customer to it. I'm clicking new, and I have to fill in two fields. The number of the invoice, let's just say it's inv-0001. And now I have a field where I have to select a customer. When I click it, a list of customers pops up, and I can either add a new customer or select an existing one. So I'm going to select John Carter. I will save this invoice, and as you can see, the new invoice has been created, and we have the customer field here, and when we click the customer name, the customer details will be displayed. Okay, so this summarizes the second part of our tutorial. We have shown how we can build a simple many-to-one relationship between two types. And don't forget to visit our website www.raimme.com, where you can find more videos, tutorials, and resources about the Raimme platform.